I have a good information for you all that my company, that is Soma Hill, is registered under MSME. You can see the number is this, and it is also registered under GAME, that is Global eMart. It is MSME Global Mart, NCS National Courier Services, and Skill India for the healthcare. Before proceeding to this, I just wanna share you one more thing. Whoever have attended my till six workshops, or in the future who will attend continuously the six workshop, is eligible for one free therapy session with me. This is a little bit about me. Well, I am Pratyasha Sinha. I'm the founder of my company Soma Hills. I'm a member of APA, American Psychological Association. I'm a founder of Soma Hills, so it's a private setup, so I'm a practitioner at that. I have a certification in CBT, REBT, DBT, as you can see slide. I have done my master's in psychology with clinical specialization and have secured first class with distinction. I provide counseling session at reasonable prices. So if you're someone who thinks that they need a session with me, you feel free to connect with me. Or if you're someone who thinks that okay, they're friend of someone or the family member of someone needs a session, they are in need of session, you can contact me. And I'm also a psychotherapist come adolescent counselor at Mindset. Currently, I'm working as a professional school counselor at Sunbeam School, Varanasi. So today's topic is about trauma and wounds and how shadow work will help. Shadow mostly is who are of clinical background, they know that Carl Jung, that unconscious, hidden desires that we believe that are not good for us, that we feel shame, the suppressed emotions and feelings that we never dare to show in front of anyone, that forms into shadow. A pain, like how shadow and trauma are related, how trauma and wounds. Of course, something has happened in your life. It was a traumatic incident that converted into an wound, any kind of wound, not the physical, the emotional, losing of a loved one. At that time, you think that crying is not an option. So that pain get converted into an wound. That wound behind the pain, like in shadow work, as I say in the layman language, that shadow work is like a homeopathic thing. In shadow work, we dive deep into the root cause of anything. Someone is jealous of someone. That is a surface level. Someone is very angry at something. That person is very angry. Don't talk to her. Don't talk to him. He's always angry. But that is the surface thing, that he or she is angry. But beneath that, what it is? Is it the pain? Is it some shame? Is it some guilt? What it is? Shadow work helps you to know what it is, the beneath thing, the root thing. So we work on the root cause of that thing, and then we remove that thing. So when that root problem is solved, the stem will of course have so much greenery. So we work on the root cause of anything. A pain that did not get a safe outlet to release can get converted into anger. So many of time, a person who seems very angry and he or she is very angry, actually he or she is suffering from a kind of pain that he was not able to express, that he didn't find, his body and mind didn't find that safe environment to release that outlet. Okay, this is the safe one, because he or she never learned that thing when he or she was, like I gave example in the last session also, how we learn anything. Okay, a child perfectionism, overcritical, we learn all this from our environment. A child who is conditioned that if you will get this thing, only you are loved, that is the conditioned love, inconsistent love. So if a child like I will give okay, I will remove the pronoun. A child like she child, a girl, she has gone to a mom, like mom, she see what I have done, like I have secured the first rank, I have drawn this picture, I have won this art competition, I have got the first prize. And maybe she is in class 2 or 3 and her mom is working and washing dishes. She's like, go away, go, it's you all, like you do every time this thing, I don't have any time for this. And she's standing in there and like she's saying, okay, this thing of mine is not something valuable. So when she secured first rank in her academics, and when she show her mom this, then her mom praised like, oh my god, you are so, obedient girl, you are so intelligent girl. So she learned, okay, this thing is not something of value, this thing is something of valuable. When she scored some good marks, she was praised. When she didn't score good marks, she was criticized. See your friend, where did you fail? Why did you fail in this genre? Only 4 marks, these marks and that. So the girl or the boy learned, okay, I have to perform in a certain way to gain love, to gain acceptance, to gain approval. This part cannot be shown. That I'm also heard that I always perform best, but I couldn't get that benchmark. I'm also hurt, but I couldn't express my sadness because my mom will be upset. She's already upset that I haven't scored 100 out of 100. That didn't convert into shadow. That type of person who have been like all this thing in their childhood, have gone through all this thing in the childhood, become one of the perfectionists. So if you see someone who is very perfectionist, like you see that they do everything, like a person who have a lot of multiple hobbies, they're just trying to escape from the reality. They are trying to, and such kind of person always tend to end up in very toxic relationship, either it's a boy or a girl. You have seen, I have, because I myself have seen a very close person of mine having this thing, that she was very perfectionist and she was like a really nice girl, good girl, and she came to have in a relationship with such a partner who was very abusive, like emotionally he literally drained her. We were, and one of the most, you know I will say that it's a very painful thing that the person know that he is not good for me, and we tend to explain her that this is not the right way to treat anyone. And she also understand, okay, this is not a thing, but she will listen to everyone, but still she won't leave that relationship, because like in childhood she learned that this is my thing to fix this thing, I can achieve this, I can fix him. So he will start to take him as a project, that okay, I have to work on this, I have to work on this. And vice versa, some good boys also get some kind of girls. So I'm being like not biased that boys will come up saying कि मेरे साथ भी होता है, ऐसा होता है. No, girls and boys both suffer. Like I said, in PTSD, trauma is not something that has happened on the outside. It's a response of our body. Like anger is a response. Something unpleasant happened. Like someone said that we are guilty of something, that we have not committed that crime. Like we have not done something wrong. And they are saying that, no, you have done this. Anger is a very natural response. In the same way, trauma is the response of something happened outside of the environment. That was the response of our body. The trauma is the response of body. And then it converted in the wounds, like Carl Jung has talked about all this. In this session, we will talk about this trauma and wounds and how shadow work will help. If you think that you want to know that, if you want that I will take more session on shadow work, you can poll in the WhatsApp community that take section on shadow work, I'm interested in knowing shadow work and everything. Because in shadow work there is a lot of things, archetypes, different type of archetypes, wounds and somatic thing. A lot of thing is covered in shadow work. I just try to give a glimpse, like a little bit introduction about what shadow work is, how it works. Because if I had to like dive deep into each even topic, if I'm picking a emotional unavailability, because now like in the next Sunday session, probably I will be taking session on attachment issues in relationship. That was also voted by you guys who were in the group that this should be covered. So today we'll be covering on sticking on this trauma and wounds through shadow work. Like you could see, why do certain things hurt so deeply? Have you ever wondered? Because I have always wondered. I came into journey of this psychology because I want to discover myself, why certain things trigger me so much, why I am stuck at certain person, why do certain person affect me so much, okay, why I'm behaving in this way, why I'm feeling happy at that place at that moment, but sad at that place and that moment. Why? It's not that we all have been through. If someone says no, I have been the perfect and everything, so maybe you are very much blessed that you have very good parents. But even we have good parents around us, sometimes we don't get very good peers around us. The FOMO thing is a real thing. We fear that, oh my god, what if I don't fit in this the circle? So people do start to have, they will start to do a lot of things that they are not actually first interested in doing, like smoking, drinking. It's a part of that culture of FOMO. Like going into relationship also, it's a FOMO that everyone is having a boyfriend and girlfriend, let me go into relationship. So they grab any person they see, they think that okay, at least I have someone I can say that okay, I'm not missing part of this thing. So these are the things. If you have ever felt like small rejection hurts deeply, someone you said, let's go to the movie, and they said, no, I'm not actually free. Just a simple no. No, actually I'm not free. And that no hurted you so badly. Like you were saying to yourself, I was knowing that this person will say no, such things happens to me only. If you ever felt like this, criticism stays, mind or days. Like someone said, look at, it's a work of a relative that's saying about body shaming you, like they do. If someone said, you have gained a lot of weight, many of us who have like worked on ourselves, they will listen and they will just like pass, yeah, yeah, auntie, yeah, uncle. But you will think about that thing like in a loop, and it goes on. Why? Even it's like, even after a month, after 10 to 15 days, these are converted into your wounds. You overthink relationships, like what a single no means, what that okay means. You have typed a message to your partner saying this, and he said okay, and you are thinking like he said okay, no, okay, no, or okay, no, okay. You will literally overthink that small thing, and that is not your problem, because like not in a problem, that's not your actually fault, because you're running in autopilot mode. Your nervous system is constantly scanning for the danger. It actually sees everything as a danger and a safety, and it is wired to feel safe and comfortable. It hates uncomfortable things, it hates unfamiliarity. So it hates to that core that after a point you may have wondered that why, like I said, giving the example in the previous one, that we know that person is toxic but still we are into that relationship. We know that work is toxic but we still are in the work zone. We know this household or the sometimes relationship with parents are not in that lane. We are not able to like sort like have some boundaries, but we are like okay, it's okay, chalta hai. Why? Have you ever wondered why it happens? Like why are we in that loop even after knowing? Because our nervous system is wired in a such way that it literally hate unfamiliarity. So there comes a point that it actually will accept the pain. This is one of the sad reality of overthinking, and the when your nervous system is constantly in survival mode, that every time something good happens, your mind will go like, oh my god, don't be so much happy, something worst will come. Because your nervous system and mind has like experienced something while growing up, that okay, like I said, unconditional love in the childhood, mother is giving love then taking love when it's not performing a certain way. So it has learned that don't be so much happy, something bad will happen. Our nervous system will start to pain, like it will normalize that pain. Okay, it's just a small pain, it's a small pain, we can adjust, it's comfortable, it's a familiar way, it's a familiar path. But I don't want to work, because working on something is unfamiliarity. Working on something is breaking the pattern. Working is something is going for a new way. Of course, it's a new way. And like we all are, if we be given two roads, one road that we used to go to the college every day, and another way road maybe it takes a small distance, but we are not knowing like from where to catch the bus, where the bus will drop. So of course we will stick to that pattern, let me go, even if taking me 10 to 15 minutes extra, what will happen? This is the familiar path, I know the every corners and the points. This is what brain, our nervous system does to us. When you constantly seek validation, you struggle to trust people. Everything, whatever the question is written there, it will come under wounds in the next slides. Sometimes the rejection is not about the present moment. It is connected to the hidden emotional wounds and unresolved trauma. Like I said, everything that happened to us gets stored. Shadow is like repressed anger, repressed pain, repressed shame, repressed jealousy. Oh my god, how I can get jealous to my best friend? She is doing good in every, like she's excelling in a life, if I get jealous to her, I'm very bad friend, I'm this and that, and then we'll suppress that thing. But we never take a time to realize, okay, I am feeling jealous, I am feeling angry, but what this jealousy is actually meaning to me, what this anger is trying to tell me. Maybe anger is trying to tell you that my boundary gets violated. I was standing for something and they violated my boundary. That's why I get angry, because my body didn't know how to respond, because this is not something that I want. So we get angry, we get jealous, because somehow somewhere we feel that we too want that thing. Maybe your best friend has a good parent around her, she get that unconditional love, consistent love, she get praised even for, like, not doing very much good in life. So we get jealous, because somehow we also want, when we do shadow work, behind the jealousy is that little girl saying that please love me, please care for me, without giving me some boundaries, without condition. I'm also lovable, like I want love, I want understanding, without some achieving something. I'm just a person who can be loved without any condition. That is what we came to know about. So in shadow work, or in any kind of thing, when clients come to us, we say that, okay, I'm suffering from this, I have a lot of anger issues. So we just try to tell them, okay, we are getting where it's from, where it is coming from. But first, don't shame whatever emotion you're feeling. First, we will try to make them, accept the emotion. Let it accept. It's okay. You are feeling sad. You should feel sad. It's okay. You are feeling angry. You should feel angry when someone violated your boundary. You should. If you're not, then that's the problem. It's good now that emotions are showing up. Maybe the way you want it's not showing up in that way. You are confused why it is showing now. It should shown 10 महीना पहले, 5 महीना पहले. Now why it is showing me now, when everything has been gone? It have it ever happened with you that we play a whole conversation in our mind after an argument is over, because our mind never relax. It is like, I will derail you from the track. How dare you didn't say the thing? It will constantly blame you, because you have been in that loop. We never trained our mind to, okay, let it go. It has happened. Now what? Now focus in the present. You have to literally talk to your mind like this. Come back. Be in the present. We will talk when that person will come. Don't replay the argument in my mind, because our mind try to find the closure. That's why a messy breakup, ghosting someone, like unfinished task, it creates a loop in your mind. Oh my god, that is pending, that is pending, that is pending. And that's why we chase unavailable people. That's why we crave when someone gives a very small amount of their time. That's what happened.